crook patch cable or something. So the usual suggestions. She said, "Oh no, I've checked all of that, and I've used the same patch cable on another radio, and it all appears to be okay." I said, "Oh." And then she sent me a message a couple of days later and said, "Oh no, it's all okay now. I don't know I don't know whether she did anything, but she says, oh, no, it seems to be all okay." And I thought, oh well, maybe because it's new to her and there's a lot of controls on the front of those radios, maybe she was, maybe she had it on split and it was swapping antennas, or that sort of thing that it could do. You could swap antenna outputs and be transmitting on another band in split mode accidentally and not necessarily know that you've done it. So as far as I knew, there was no issue with it, and I hadn't heard from her at any point after that last discussion. And I said that to Guy. I said, "Oh, I'm surprised that she didn't give me a ring or anything like that." And I said, "But look, at the end of the day, it's hard for me to check anything, or hard for you to sort of talk to someone over the phone and make sure that they're operating something properly. I've just had one of these cross needle meters that I sell that measures its average output, and it also measures PEP. And if you're measuring average output on a 100-watt transceiver, and someone's just talking on it, you're probably only getting anywhere about 30 to 40% of the output read on the meter. But if you read it in PEP mode, you'll see that it peaks at its 100 odd watts or something output. Well, I've had a guy return a meter to me saying that the meter's not working within spec. I've tested it here and it works perfectly fine. And I'm going to have to offer him a refund through eBay, which is a pain in the neck, because I've now got a meter that's not in pristine new condition anymore, because this clown doesn't know how to use it. So look, I'm not suggesting the lady I sold the radio to doesn't know how to use it, but of course when you've got something as complex as maybe a 9000 is and can be to operate, then you do start to wonder whether or not it could be potentially user error. VK3CSJ, VK3GL.
Yes, I think so. VK3GL, VK3CSJ. Okay. Yeah, look, just now I did a whistle into the 9000D. I know the SWR is a little high on 40 meters, so if I go back to 40, 7115 was where I was. Yeah, so that's about 150 on that. But if I go to 10 meters on 10125, and I know the VSWR there is quite low, it's very good in fact. But if I do a whistle here, no, I can't whistle now. 1, 2. Yeah, well, it's close to 200 on the whistle. So again, it all depends on the load, as you say. So it's one of those things where you need to test into a load to double check on things. And as you say, the radios like the 9000, they've got a lot of buttons on them, and it can there could be a setting that's not quite right. So that even includes the power out control. I think mine's set to 200. Oh dear. Yeah, that's a bit of a pain, particularly about the returned meter as well. It's a bit of a sad one too. Don't know how you can explain that otherwise. But yeah, I've been meaning to send off an email to Guy. I keep forgetting to do it, to tell him about the display, just for his information. So I'll probably do that in a short moment when I'm finished here, if I remember. Yes, the problems of selling second-hand gear. I know that when I was, I had two TS2000s, and I was selling the other TS2000, which I wish I hadn't have done, given the fact that my current TS2000 has failed on 2 and 70 centimeters. Having another TS2000 here would have helped to have fault find that one. But I made sure that what I put up on VK Ham illustrated that the radio worked fine. I had a power meter on it and into a load, and did all the whistles and whatever tests just to show that it did work. And of course, I think the chap that came around here, he was quite happy with it. So yeah. So you can only do so much, can't you, in respect to this sort of stuff? And I know you go out of your way to make sure that whatever you do sell is in top condition. So go figure on that one. I'm sure it's just, well, you reckon it's an ATU problem? Is it what Guy's saying? It's an ATU issue. So I run the ATU all the time here. So on this. So it's quite possible it's just a loose connection cable. Needs to be reseated. It's probably all it is, or something needs to be reseated. Maybe the trip the trip up to New South Wales there has bumped something out a little bit. So hopefully a guy will find it without a problem and get it back to her. Yeah, it's an issue, and so much money being involved too. It's always another story. All right, mate, I'll leave you with it. I guess I should say thanks for hanging in there. And I've had the YouTube stream running still, and also the repeater has come back online, so I'm now transmitting via the Melbourne TV repeater again. VK3GL, VK3CSJ.
Yes, okay, Clint, no worries. VK3CSJ, VK3GL. Yes, all noted, 100%, no problem at all. Yeah, look, it's a bit disappointing when people don't know how to use things properly. And then like this bloke who bought the meter professes to know that he knows everything. He's not been a licensed amateur for very long at all, actually. He's actually a bit of he's actually a newbie to the hobby. And, professes that he knows everything about it, and knows, he'll tell you that he knows how to use an SWR meter and that sort of thing without any problem. But of course, that's not necessarily the case at all. I honestly think he doesn't have much of a clue, to be honest with you. And yeah. Well, what do you do? What can I say? One of those things, I guess, Clint. You can't be at the other end to see what they're doing over.
Well, that's right. You just have to take their word for it, and try and explain as much as possible. But yeah, you certainly need to understand that some of these SWR meters, how they function, and if you had the thing is to put things into, if you're testing power output, you really need to run things into a load. So the transmitter, because it being a solid state, you've got all this RF protection things that are coming into play. So if the transmitter is looking into a proper load, a solid state transmitter, then it'll perform far better and give you a much better idea of how it's performing. So yeah, a part of the rack here is I've got a 1 kilowatt load, and I haven't quite installed it, but just below the load I'll put an oscilloscope, a Tetronics rack mounting crow. There was one upstairs. I had a crow in the rack for upstairs, but since I brought the rack downstairs, I haven't. The crow's sitting on the floor actually next to the rack. I haven't really installed it where I want it to go yet, but I want to be able to. I just want to be able to run two-tone tests and measure using a crow the output power of the transmitters. You're doing it that way properly, just for the fun of it, into the load. And I've already actually done that with the other Telefunken transmitter, so it's all good fun to be able to prove the experiment experimentally. I've got Kiska on camera at the moment. She's occupying the full screen. My little fuzz ball. Kiss, 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 kiss. Kissy, kiss, kiss. Kiss, 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 kiss. Kiska, Kiska. Yes, she's acknowledging, but just she's tired, like me. Anyway, all right, mate. I'll leave you with it, and we'll try and catch up over the weekend. If I can, I'll probably be out in the garden, maybe cutting some grass. I need to cut the grass down where the deck is for the dome. That's getting out of control. So hopefully I can cut the grass. But with this recent rain that we've had, it might be a bit too wet to even do that. But I've still got lots of stuff to do here. There's if you're watching YouTube, that bookcase just behind me there, I've tried to empty that. A lot of the stuff that was in that bookcase has been put into plastic bins, and there's just some more books on the top shelf, which is out of shot there. But as soon as I get that shelf completely free, that's all coming down to expose the wall behind, and then once that shelf is removed, I'll be able to. Well, I've got to fix the wall up. I've got to replace it. The damaged cement sheeting. It's not cement sheeting. The plaster sheeting down the bottom there. It's a bit ordinary. So I've got to replace that, and then I can once I'm happy with that, I'll put a coat of paint over everything. I might even put some timber finishing on that wall. I don't know yet, but I might do that. But then I can put a bench along that wall, a proper decent bench, and I can put all my Collins station in that area behind me. And further in the corner over there will be the ASU station. And so this whole picture that you see here will swing around into there, and it'll have all the radio equipment on display, and it'll look really, really cool on the TV. But I am thinking of in this shot here. Of course, you can see the Telefunken, and of course just behind, you can't really see it very well, but just behind that's the Philips transmitter too, which I want to modify. But they make a lot of noise. That thing makes a lot of noise. So I'm thinking of putting that behind a wall to dampen the sound down. So we'll think about that in due course. Oh yeah. Anyway, all right, mate. I'll leave you with it, and we'll see you all next week. I suspect VK3GL, VK3CSJ.
Yeah, okay, Clint. VK3CSJ, VK3GL. Yeah, all good, mate, and all noted on things there in a general sense. Okay, on the transmitters and so on, yeah. Pardon me. Got the yawns now. Time to go to bed. I turned the PC off, so I'm not watching the stream anymore, but I did see that earlier on when I was watching, I could see that you had cleaned out some of that, some of the bookcase there that was in the background. So yeah, you're making some headway, and you got winter setting in now, so you really need to get that bloody base sorted out to put that dome on. That's for sure. You spend all that money on the dome and it's just sitting there. You don't want it to be getting all grown with grass and introduce other issues. That's for sure. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your night, morning, and I might hear perhaps around over the course of the weekend or something. I'm not sure what the weekend's bringing at the moment, but I do have a few things on to get sorted out, and of course then working again tomorrow. Have a good night, mate. Cheers for now, and thanks for hanging about and having a few words. VK3CSJ, VK3GL.
Yeah, no worries, Graham. All very good. Okay, I'll keep an eye on the aurora, the auroral ring over Antarctica this weekend. If it looks like it's going to arc up with some interesting auroras, I'll certainly I'll post out probably on the Casey group. I'll indicate there if there's any potential for auroral visibility. That'll be the first point to let you all know. Alrighty, cheers for now, and I shall close down with the official old-fashioned national anthem, I think. Usually do on TV. Anyway, cheers, mate. VK3CSJ is now closing down.
Yeah, all right, Clint, and I think that might have been Mark popped up. All right, I'll catch you later on, mate. I'm going to pull a pin and let the dog out, and you'll go for a whiz and then bring him back in. Catch you later on. I think that was you, Mark, anyway. VK3PDG, VK3GL going to be.
Yeah, just try and say good day before you go home. C101, I haven't got it tuned properly. And the needle's bouncing around. I don't know what I've done there, but anyway, I just heard your voice down low on 80. I thought, say hello. Let you know that Bendigo is going to run their first Hamfest in August 18th, Sunday, August 18th. I don't know whether you can get up for it, but the boys are putting in a big effort. So another new one for the state.
No, I certainly knew about it there, Mark. Actually, I don't know whether I mentioned to you or you asked me about it anyway. No, I can't make it. We're going to Japan, so I can't make it, unfortunately.